What's up everybody, Daster D here, and I'm coming back at you with another video. Now in this video, I'm going to be telling you guys about the time that I got tweaked up on a bunch of mushrooms, and I went 96 in a 45 and got pulled over by the police. Now if you want to hear more videos of this nature, make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below, and let's just get right into it. So this was about, say, 3 or 4 years ago now. I was 17 then, I'm 21 now. And I was not in the right mental state. Let's just say that. And I had a girlfriend who lived about 2 hours away from me, and we don't need to say her name right now because she's not prevalent to the story. So I ended up driving 2 hours down in somebody else's car, mind you. Probably wasn't the best idea. My main car at the time was not usable because I needed to get brake pads and I think it was ball bearings, some type of bearings on it. And so I wasn't able to use my own car, so I borrowed somebody's car, and the car that I was driving was a Mitsubishi Mirage 3-cylinder. Tiny little fucking car. It can barely make it past 70. The car that I was driving down there, though, however, was a Chevy Cruze, or not a Chevy Cruze, a Chevy Malibu, and those things are like V6s. They got some speed on them. It wasn't no turbos, no nothing like that. It was just a little V6. So I started driving this Chevy Cruze down, and it was a pretty normal drive down. I had about 5 grams of mushrooms on me, and a mushroom bar with about 3.5 grams in it, and it was just like a little homemade one, none of that 5-MeO DMT bullshit. And I get down there, and I had to pass through a construction zone, and that's actually useful for later in the story. But I get down there, and I take my mushrooms, and I have my good time. It was about 4 hours in total I was there, and I took them as soon as I got there. And I was supposed to stay there the whole day. Unfortunately, I realized I had a doctor's appointment. So at the end of those 4 hours, I had to sprint out of the house and drive back because my doctor's appointment was an hour and a half away. And I was about 2 hours, an hour and a half. It was in between. It was about hour 45. So I ended up having to super speed home on mushrooms, and also pretty high because I was ripping the dab pen too. So I end up driving home, and I hit the construction zone. And in front of me, what I thought was a 16-wheel trailer, big 18-wheeler, that's what I meant. An 18-wheeler trailer was in front of me, and the dude was going about 98 in a construction zone in a 45. Like, the actual speed limit was 45 in the construction zone, and this motherfucker was going 98. I didn't know at the time because the difference between a Mitsubishi Mirage and a Chevy, any type of Chevy basically, you can feel the speed in a Mitsubishi. A Mitsubishi is a cheap-ass made car, and it's like an economy car. Chevy's, it's got a little bit better suspension. I mean, you can't really feel the speed you're going, and it was like one of the first times I was driving that car. So I'm driving, and I'm going behind him, and I don't have my cruise control on because I'm in a construction zone. And the truck gets out, and he's still hauling ass, and I'm slowing down a little bit. But I look over on my left, and I see a state trooper, and I go, fuck! And I look down, and I look at my speed, and I'm going 96, and I go, fuck! And then the cop pulls me over because I was in the back, not pulling over the freaking tractor trailer in front of me, and I go, fuck! And so the state trooper comes around, and he goes over and asks me to roll down my window and give me my license and registration. And this dude was the most state trooper looking state trooper you've ever seen. He looked like the T-2000 from Terminator. That motherfucker looked like he was going to walk through prison bars or something. He looks like he was going to turn into molten metal. That motherfucker looked like he was about to shoot me in the head if I said anything wrong. But regardless, I give him my license and my registration. He goes, so, Dan, how fast do you think you're going back there? And I said, I don't know. And he goes, are you sure? And I go, I don't know. And he goes once more. He goes, Dan, are you telling the truth to me? And I go, I don't know. I was going however fast the truck was going, man. And at this point, I was tweaked out. I was geeked up. I thought it was over at this point. I thought I was going to jail for life. And the cop ends up going back to his car, and he comes back and he hands me a little ticket, and he goes, "You got to show up. This is your court date. This is how much, or not how much you're going to pay. This is when you're supposed to go in. They'll tell you whatever." And I look at the cop, and my eyes clearly probably bloodshot, and my pupils are probably non-existent, or the other way around. My pupils are probably enlarged to the fucking extent of the sun. Like, you probably weren't even able to see my, like, irises. I was fucking geeked up. There was no possible way. I thought I genuinely believed that was the end. I thought I was going to prison. But the cop comes around and he goes, "All right, I see that you got an appointment coming up. You told me you got an appointment, and I see get to it. I'm going to give you this ticket, and you're free to go." And I look at him with my misty-ass, big-ass, black-ass eyes, and I look at him and I go, "Thank you, sir." And I drive away. And just as a PSA, kids, never do mushrooms while operating any type of machinery, because that's the dumbest possible thing you can do. I can barely work my phone I can barely type a sentence while I'm on mushrooms, let alone work a car. It's just not a good idea. It's just not a good idea. Never do it. But I did it. I wholeheartedly regret it. And I survived that experience. Now, yeah, that's about it. See ya.